Hello, 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 and welcome back to another segment of Rate the Leadership with your host, Jai Mays. I am so glad to be with you guys today. And I'm so glad to go through this compilation to compare and contrast the leadership dealing with Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina. So I want to start off this show or this segment talking about the good characteristics we look for in a leader. Okay, whether it's the full administration or one person, a management team, a CEO, chairman, leader of a sports team players, journalists, anyone who steps foot in a leadership position or has a leadership position needs to possess these characteristics. So I'm going to go over them with you really quickly. For one, communication, empathy, vision, delegation, resilience, confidence, integrity, decision making, courage, transparency, okay? Humility. These are characteristics of a good leader. Empowerment, influence, passion, respect. And I'm going to come back to the one transparency, and then I'm going to come and say accountability. These are the good characteristics that we look for in leadership to be a good leader, because the Bible says that a servant, to be a leader, you must become a servant. And the only way that you can have humility is become a servant as well and to help the people. So we've had 8 years to compare and contrast the leadership of our country, the leadership of America. And in September, there was a terrible hurricane that hit, Hurricane Helene. We all know about it. We all watched it on the news. We saw the devastation. And I'm going to go through the leadership of both administrations to see who was the better leader, who is leading correctly, who is helping the people, and who possesses these characteristics. Accountability, transparency, okay, integrity, empathy, communication, and delegation. Are you moving forward? Are you making decisions? Are you helping the people? So I can't wait to get into this because leadership means a lot. Leadership means a lot. The Bible says in Proverbs, and this is from the wisest man in the world, King Solomon, who got revelation from Jesus on how to lead, who received that. He said, when the king is righteous, the people rejoice. But when the king is foolish, the people mourn. Let's see what's going on with Hurricane Helene victims. Who's mourning and who is rejoicing? When are they mourning and when do they start to rejoice? Let's get into it. Here we go.
But it's right here in America. 50 families are living in RVs and trailers in this encampment in North Carolina. And they're facing increasingly harsh conditions. They were all displaced by Hurricane Helene, which destroyed 70,000 homes back in September. Now winter storms and sub-freezing temperatures gripping the South are making life intolerable for them and so many others who have already lost everything and feel abandoned. Shauna is living in a trailer in the camp called Haven on the Hill.
I'm sorry. It's been really hard, but it really changes you.
The families are living like refugees, dependent on donations of food, water, and propane gas. The food is stored in a large tent.
All of these people living in trailers, living in tents in this deep freeze 4 months after the hurricane hit. Would you ever think that something like this could happen in this country?
No. I would think that they'd be more taken care of and I wouldn't have to hear about people freezing to death.
There's the motorhome that we're staying in.
Dee Dee Buckner is sleeping in a donated camper outside the ruins of her house.
Some days you wake up and you're freezing. We're not getting the help that we should be getting.
She is hoping that will change following President Trump and First Lady Melania's visit to the storm-ravaged state today.
What's your message to the president?
President Trump, please don't fail us.
But it's right here.
Folks, this devastation is serious. I couldn't imagine it. And, my husband and I, we try to do all we can to help others out. We really, really, really do. But this happened in September. It is freezing. There has been a winter storm that has just taken over the South. So these folks are living in tents. Anyway, let's just go back to September when the previous administration had to take action. And when they took action, what actions did they take? Let's get into it.
Electricity can be applied for online, and I encourage people to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your
Take it back.
registration, and I want to thank the local leaders for together creating a task force-like response, knowing that we are at our best when we work together and coordinate resources, coordinate our communications to the maximum effect for the community that has been impacted. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula.
In America, $750 in America.
And the like, and you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected.
How much money was sent to Ukraine? Let me stop.
There are FEMA personnel who are going door to door to interact personally with folks, especially those who do not have electricity, but also that aid, if you have electricity, can be applied for online.
And now, mind you, she's in Georgia, okay? Not North Carolina, not where the victims actually are. Now, I heard that she did go down and she was giving out, some knickknacks and all of that for a photo op. But honey, $750. Anyway.
And I encourage people to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your address, and then the process should take hold. FEMA is also providing tens of thousands more dollars for folks to help them be able to deal with home repair.
Are they? And the only reason why I ask is because, politicians are going to tell you exactly what you want to hear, but not really what's going on. So are they? Because per this young man here, he said FEMA's not doing anything, honey. Now we're going to rate the leadership, because we've got one administration saying one thing. And then we've got a man who's got boots on the ground saying another. Let's see.
Rewind
it. Here we go.
Begin tonight with Bill St. Pierre, who's been on the ground helping those affected, and Mayor Michael Sobel from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Bill, there was just a tweet that got put out by FEMA, helpfully talking about how great they've been and how many people they are helping. As you've been on the ground with folks, do you see that FEMA has been doing enough?
I haven't seen FEMA do anything since I've been down there. I've seen their vehicles. I've seen their flags flying. The amount of families that I've been in contact with, working with, I have not seen FEMA anywhere.
Tell me some of the stories of the families that have.
So, listen, we're going to rate the leadership. Now, excellent for great leadership, we're going to give it a number 1. Excellent. All right, we're going to give it a 5. But terrible, we're going to give that a 0, or actually a 1, because I want to see if people want to say 1. Terrible, we're going to give them a 1. But if you don't even think they were terrible, honey, give it a 0. Okay, give it a 0, Because this man says he's been boots on the ground and he hasn't seen FEMA. I've seen several reports that FEMA was not doing their job, that FEMA was even blocking aid. I've seen several reports, boots on the ground from people saying that FEMA was blocking aid. You can't make this up. Rate the leadership. Let's keep going.
Affected you the most?
Well, I can go forever. One family, she grew up in this home. Her great grandfather built it. It flooded, kind of knocked it off the foundation a little bit. But they basically lost everything in their 70s. She has stage 4 cancer. They take care of their Shriner grandson. He is a 40-year vet, and they have nothing. And they were. This
man is a veteran. Okay, he is a veteran and went out and fought for the country. And y'all won't even take care of him? So if they don't take care of the veterans, what about us regular folk? Anyway.
They were given a little bit of FEMA money, but it's not even going to pay for the cleanup. There was a guy that was helping me unload my trailer a couple of weeks ago down in Jefferson, North Carolina. He was working at a distribution center. And he had cancer, and he was helping me unload the trailer, lost his mobile home, taking care of his 7-year-old daughter. And I called him the other day, and his camper just burned down because he's trying to keep it warm. So I could go on for hours.
Yeah.
The people that I've talked to, the people that I've seen, the look in their eyes, the devastation that they're going through, this isn't the American way. And I finally had to start doing something. I had to start using my platform, my Facebook, my social media, like all the other people are down there, because nobody else is helping. So we're going to do it the way we're doing it, raising money.
Now, y'all didn't hear that from me. You heard it from this gentleman who has boots on the ground. Where is FEMA? Now, of course, the PR, which is the public relations, okay, for FEMA, of course, they're going to say this is all a lie. And of course, the mainstream media is going to say this is all a lie. But we're going to put on our common sense hat, and we're going to think and put our thinking cap on. And we're going to think to ourselves, all of these reports saying FEMA is not doing what they're supposed to do, blocking aid. And this happened in September. It is now January. What is FEMA doing? Mind you, hundreds of millions of dollars was just given to Ukraine. Let's go.
And make this happen.
And that's the American way, right? The worst times bring out the best sometimes, oftentimes in America. Mayor, I know it's difficult as a local official to be caught between wanting help from your community from FEMA and then trying to help the folks who are so desperate that you represent. Help us understand this giant disconnect between what we hear that FEMA is doing a great job and they're everywhere and on, and these stories that are being told and we have every reason to believe are true.
Well, I have to challenge St. Pierre. There's no question that FEMA has not done as much as what people want. However, FEMA is not Jesus Christ. We can't expect miracles overnight. I know that in the town of Black Mountain, FEMA has done a damn good job. They have given people, they have helped people. Have they completely made everyone whole? Absolutely not.
But there's people living in tents, Mayor. That's not...
Of course, the mayor, he's going to protect his own hide. So he's going to say that he's doing the best and that FEMA's doing the best they can, because, you know, he wants to protect his political career. So he is not going to tell the truth on FEMA.
It's a while to do this.
67 days and people are still living in tents. We have video of the FEMA compound. They seem to be doing pretty well. I can't I'm just trying to figure out what what people should expect. And it doesn't seem 67 days is too long to expect a trailer that the government has money for, is it?
Now it's been 2 months. There's a lot that you can do in 2 months. So what's the problem, Mayor? What's the problem? So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the new administration. And the Trump administration, who has just been sworn in, as soon as they were sworn in, they went to visit the Hurricane Helene victims. Now let's see what Trump is saying.
Democrat or
Here we go.
an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA. And then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area. They've never been to the area. And they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. FEMA has been a very big disappointment. They cost a tremendous amount of money. It's very bureaucratic, and it's very slow. Other than that, we're very happy with them. Okay, and I think when there's a problem with the state, I think that problem should be taken care of by the state. That's what we have states for.
That is correct. That is why we have states. So whatever that mayor was talking about, he really isn't doing his job, because it doesn't take that long. This is the United States government. This is the most powerful country in the world. Why are the citizens freezing in tents? Rate the leadership. Now, we've had some time to look at the old administration to see what they did, how they responded to the disasters. They gave them $750. They put FEMA on it. They was blocking aid. The people went from crap to even more crap. Okay, it was then the winter storm came in. They're freezing in the tents. Reports say some people have died. Now we turn and President Trump's administration has hit the ground. Let's see if the people are rejoicing. Let's see. Here we go.
From like
freezing,
died from like freezing to death. They were in tents and everything, and they finally put them in apartments and things like that. And the last administration couldn't do that. Even JD.
Let me rewind this. What did he just say? Let's go back.
What are they gonna say now? What can they say now? Even as a non-Trump supporter, you can't even deny the fact all the moves he's been making this week. Him and JD Vance hasn't been barely a week, but they're already in North Carolina giving out resources to the people, the hurricane victims. That happened months ago. They put them in shelters. You know, there's been people that died from like freezing to death. They were in tents and everything, and they finally put them in apartments and things like that. And the last administration couldn't do that. Even JD Vance was out there first, and every time they always talking about, oh, the vice president can't do nothing, the vice president do nothing. JD Vance was day one providing resources, so now you can't tell me the vice president can't do it.
Leadership.